Elizabeth Spring, and today we're going to be talking about Pisces.
And I'm Claudia Trivelas, and Pisces rules the time period from February 19th through March 20th.
Yeah, and some of the archetypal symbols for Pisces are the mystic, the dreamer, the poet, and the escapist.
And Pisces are very compassionate. They have their key word is I understand.
Yeah.
So they will understand the underdog. In fact, oftentimes they'll root for the underdog.
Yes, they make good therapists.
They make very good therapists because they understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
They put themselves in the place of each person they're relating to.
Right. Because they're ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is a water sign, so they're always following their feelings. And Neptune, of course, has, like all of these signs, has a higher octave of expression and a lower octave of expression. And the highest octave of Neptune, which relates to Pisces, has to do with inspiration and spirituality.
And faith.
And faith, yes. And the opposite is fear and addiction, and sort of a sad yearning, a divine discontent.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think also because they are so sensitive and because they can put themselves in other people's situations, they run at the risk of losing their boundaries.
And yet they're supposed to lose. I mean, they're supposed to transcend boundaries.
They transcend, but then they have to come back to their sense of self,
right,
and realize who they are. And oftentimes, I think faith, or sometimes they'll be very religious, prayer, trust. Going into a higher realm to then come back to themselves, or stepping back. And having times of solitude.
Right, and they can, imagination is a key for them. It can help them get in touch with their spirituality and to be used in the arts. They also make great artists. Because they kind of transcending. Flow. They're going with the flow.
It's a water sign. It's a mutable water sign. So it really flows along, whatever.
Yes, like the two fish.
It's inspired to do.
Right. Although when you see the signs, the two fish are going in different directions, and that points to the huge polarity that Pisces are dealing with. The higher octave and the lower octave.
Or the duality, where they can reach out and put themselves in your shoes, but yet come back to themselves and stay centered.
Yeah, that's the ideal. But it's not easy.
It's not an easy sign. I think Pisces, that their lives get better as they get older.
Yeah, and I think
they learn to manage the energy better.
They do, and being aware of how they think about their consciousness. Consciousness itself often intrigues Pisces people. They know that life is a mystery. But consciousness is the key to unraveling that mystery. So they kind of look at their minds. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? And why? And that's when this faith and spirituality or versus fear and addiction come into play here.
And they delve into the mysteries.
They delve into the mysteries.
Oftentimes they'll have an interest maybe in the mysteries of life. Some of them might have a lot of psychic energy.
Yes.
Some of them they feel more connected to other realms even than this realm. Right. They're not often the most practical of signs.
Right. There's more of a subjectivity than an objectivity. We were talking about Aquarius before, that it tends to be more objective. Well, Pisces is more subjective. And
every sign is the most different from the sign.
Yes, before it. Right.
So that rule certainly holds here.
Yes. But their shadow of escapism, though, is really, and escapism into that subjective world is difficult because they can get overwhelmed by images, by situations that happen that can just flood them. Literally, it's a water sign. They can feel like they're drowning.
Feel like they're drowning. Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're very they're very into. I mean, they'll sacrifice. They will do something for another person at their own expense. And part of their challenge sometimes is learning what's theirs and what's someone else's. You know, sometimes it's not their responsibility.
Right.
And they need to take care of themselves first, and then they can be of most help to other people.
Right. And when you mentioned the word sacrifice, I was thinking of the Piscean age that we're just coming out of. Now we're into the Aquarian age, but
age
Jesus,
of individuality.
Now the Piscean age was more. I often think about Jesus and the sacrifice that he made, and that was the Piscean Neptunian quality there.
Pisces rules the collective, so they're very easily influenced by the collective as well, and they'll feel the pain more than anyone.
Yeah, so therefore
in the world.
There's a temptation in feeling that pain deeply to become, addicted, even if it's just to sleeping or television. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It can be games, whatever. They can get just too attached to something, whereas really they're meant to bring more. A little bit more objectivity into their lives when they can.
Well, Pisces rules the 12th house of the astrology chart. Right. And the 12th house oftentimes will need seclusion.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Which can be in the form of prayer or part of their religious beliefs, sometimes to find time for themselves.
Right. The 12th. Yes. When I think of the 12th house, I think also of, I call that the house that Carl Jung built, because it has to do with the deep psyche and the unconscious and the collective unconscious.
Right. And they need to sort through it and really come back to who they are in the midst of all of that.
Right.
You know, what's their role in the midst of this collective.
And it's not easy to go into the unconscious or the deep psyche. That's why a lot of Pisces tend to go towards the arts. They can be good musicians, good artists, something where they're going beyond the day-to-day, more mundane.
I find that they have a very good sense of color. Not in the traditional sense. I always think of Aries as being the most visual in that way. But Pisces will come up with the subtleties of color and combine them together. A very rich kind of combination. Also, they're very good cooks. Pisces, to me, will make excellent cooks.
Because maybe they can blend flavors.
They blend subtleties. They're a very refined sign. And that refinement displays itself in terms of the
as long as they're not addicted.
As long as they're not addicted and dull themselves out.
Right.
But they need to learn to appreciate themselves and to understand themselves at the same level they will understand other people. The key word is I understand. And they'll often say that. If you tell them a problem, they I understand.
Nice quality of them.
It is. It's lovely.
And one other little tidbit I learned one time, which is kind of interesting to just follow. A lot of musicians have strong Pisces-Virgo combinations in their chart. The Pisces gives them the feeling aspect, the good ears for it. The Virgo can also do a similar kind of thing, but a little bit more mathematical.
Both into subtleties of sorts.
Yes, they are. They are.
Or the subtleties. That's true. Sometimes people can call Pisces spaced out. And it is because they'll have one foot in this earth plane and one foot in another. Their minds will be off daydreaming at the same time they're sitting there talking to you. Have you felt that when you've been talking to Pisces?
Yes. Well, I have my Sun conjunct Neptune, so
I'm
an honorary Pisces.
Right, it has that influence. Pisces can worry a lot, too.
Yeah.
I think because they kind of escape and come back and escape and come back, and it's like, okay, what's happening here? To get their finger on the pulse of what's happening.
Okay, well, there's a little bit more information for you about Pisces, and thanks for dropping by today. I'm Elizabeth Spring, and you can find me at elizabethspring.com. That's my website if you're interested in a reading where we go beyond the sun signs.
Yeah, and I'm Claudia Trivelas, and you can find me at discoveryourimprint.com.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now.